Okay, next up we've got Our Page. Okay, song is beautiful. It's a trilogy. Fergie, what's a trilogy? So Good Evening, I Want You, and Our Page are a trilogy. Got it. Now I get it. Thank you. Sometimes you got to spell it out for me because I'm a little wee. You know how it is. Shall we? So Good Evening, I Want You, and Our Page. So one tie-in we have is this well. That is one piece. And actually, and the Fox. Between those three, Good Evening, I Want You, and Our Page. Okay, so we have a lace that's kind of running through.
괜찮으세요? 네.
Clever.
느껴지니 이어져 있어 보이지 않는 실 같은 투명한 마음이 말을 걸어 다짐해져 하늘에 그 어떤 힘든 길이라도 계속 갈게 함께 걸어온 길 위에 다시 서보면 다 섞여 포개진 손과 눈물과 기억 너무 또렷해 잊고 싶지 않아 잊을 수 없어 빈만 채워지지가 않는 오늘 밤 서로를 마주해 우린 늘 여전해 오늘도 꿈을 꾸는 소년들 같네 네가 남겨둔 예쁜 말들은 한편의 시간 되어 노래가 되고 목소리 날아 너 있는 곳에 닿을 거란 걸 우린 알잖아 별이 사라진다면 모두 잊혀질까 소중했던 너란 내 품에 끝나지 않은 이 소설의 페이지 마지막까지 함께 채울래 2008년 5월 25일 소년들 환히 빛난 봄날의 초록빛 물결들 그 시간은 또 영원히 더 흘러 퍼져갈 거야 네가 남겨둔 예쁜 말들은 한편의 시간 되어 노래가 되고 목소리 날아 너 있는 곳에 닿을 거란 걸 우린
That was pretty damn powerful. So I have to say there is specifically a couple shots here that stick out to me from a symbolic standpoint. I'll point it out to you. And then we'll get into the lyrics because I want to know what's going on there. Okay. There's a part here coming up where we kind of watch the days passing. You watch time running. And again, this is all kind of theory crafting on my part, but to me, there's several layers that these shots kind of intertwine, and multiple things that I think they say. One of them is that we see each member going through what is most likely the majority of their day, or whether it's Minho on set and he's an actor, we see music production, we see the choreo, we see exercising. Excuse me. We see what the majority of someone's day might be. Oh, you all are killing me. Stop. So with the time passing, I think on one level, it is kind of saying every day blends with every other day and life just is kind of a blur right now. I think is one level to that. Another level is that, yeah, we kind of start to go through the motions every day. You know, when we've lost somebody and grief kind of takes over for a bit, or we experience depression, we experience anxiety, loneliness, all the different frameworks of how grief can be to a person. And there are a number of different ways that people can experience grief. But with these shots, I think it's so kind of representative of how things on the outside, externally, can be exactly the same, but because internally things are different, it feels like night and day. That's a really, really fascinating thing. Because again, everything on the outside is exactly the same, right? With the exception of losing this person, I'm saying like Minho's on set. He's going through his job, and I don't know who it was that was sitting at the computer making music, but somebody's sitting there making music like they always do. But internally, the struggle is so significant that it literally makes everything feel like it is a different planet. I think part of that can be because we have lost somebody close to us, but also the next level, the next ring of theory I'll put around that is because when we lose somebody that's that close to us, and especially the circumstances around losing that person, it can create this level of existential crisis within us that makes us go, my whole world is shaken. It's pretty damn significant. And to kind of capture that with these shots, these guys do a great job of also showing through their facial expression, mainly their eyes, we kind of experience what they're going through. I mean, this is really, really powerful. Simple shots, but say so much. And they do it with each of them. It's not just one person, they do it with each of them. Yeah, I think that is what struck me the most. And, you know, even going back, we had the one shot where somebody opened up a fridge, grabbed some ice, put it in the glass, like simple stuff, mundane things, completely different when you're going through this type of grief. Can be, okay? So let's see. Let me pull up the lyrics here. Can you feel it? We're connected by our hearts that are transparent like invisible string. I talk to the sky and make a promise with it. I will keep on walking no matter how harsh the road gets. That's a key line. Remember that. When I stand again on the road we walked on together, there are 5 overlapping hands, tears, and memories. It's so clear, I don't want to forget. I can't forget. The pretty words you left behind become a poem, become a song. Our voices are flying. We know it'll reach you wherever you are. If a star vanishes, will everything be forgotten? I'm holding the precious you in my arms. I want to fill the pages of this story that isn't over yet until the very end. I'll say that I miss you, but it won't fill up my empty heart tonight. We're facing each other. We're still the same. We're still the boys who are dreaming. The pretty words you left behind become a poem, become a song. Our voices are flying. We know it'll reach you wherever you are. If a star vanishes, will everything be forgotten? I'm holding the precious you in my arms. I want to fill the pages of this story that isn't over yet until the very end. May 25th, 2008. Boys shining brightly like green waves of spring. That time will spread and flow forever. The pretty words you left behind become a poem, become a song. Our voices are flying. We know it'll reach you wherever you are. If a star vanishes, will everything be forgotten? If a star vanishes, will everything? I'm holding the precious you in my arms. I want to fill the pages of this story that isn't over yet until the very end. You did well. You did well. I told you a key line here. Is this right here, which says, I will keep on walking no matter how harsh the road gets. We know that SHINee carries on. SHINee is 5, as you had said the other day, and I think is pretty magnificent. I think that's how it should be. The line that talks about, the lyric that talks about, you know, if a star vanishes, will everything be forgotten? Well, I'm of the mindset that when somebody leaves, just like this star vanishing, it doesn't just vanish. That energy goes somewhere. It just gets kind of reconfigured in a way. And you can take it however you want. But I think, if anything, scientifically, that's something that we do know for sure, is that when, like, energy can't be destroyed, it just gets reconfigured, right? So when they talk about if a star vanishes, will everything be forgotten? Well, no, because like all of that energy has to go somewhere. So it might go into other stars. It might just kind of float about. I'm not a science guy, right? But that is something. It's like the third law of thermodynamics or something like that. Anyway, point being, this line going back to, I will keep on walking no matter how harsh the road gets. We know SHINee continues. SHINee is 5. So as they continue, like, to me, that's potentially their way of saying, as they kind of do in the song pretty specifically, We're going to keep going because that was what we set out to do. Like, this is what we were going for. We have to keep going. Lyrically, when they reference Jung Hyun and they say, our voices are flying and they're going to get to you wherever you are. Well, wherever Jung Hyun is, can't you imagine on some level that he's saying, like, guys, keep going. Don't stop. Like, this is like, keep going. I think the title of the song as well, even outside of the lyrics that reference the title, when they say, I want to fill the pages of this story that isn't over yet. We talked about how discussing these things, discussing these pieces of this story is so important and for so many reasons. Well, the fact that the song is called Our Page is also, in my opinion, a reference to the fact that, like, this is history that you shouldn't forget and you can't forget because it is a page in their story. And once it's there, it's there. Even if you don't talk about it, it's there. It changed things. It changed them. But they then had decisions to make. How do we move forward? Not do we move forward? How do we move forward? I think that's pretty important. Visually, the video is top tier. This is really, really well done. Man, that is fantastic. Oh no? Yes. Thank you. And then this last shot I thought was really, really great. Oh, man. Yeah, that is really beautiful. I mean, we could go so far to say that these lights in the background are not just practicals within the scene that give the scene some depth and add some version of lighting. They give it some color, but also potentially reference the line that say, if a star vanishes, is everything forgotten? Right? Could be. No idea. But visually and thematically, extremely, extremely powerful video. Our Page. SHINee is 5. Wow. The group members collectively wrote these lyrics. See, I'm glad you said that. That actually, that makes me happy. Because I know sometimes, other writers are brought in, producers are brought in, and there's a bigger effort sometimes, and that might be the case here. But knowing that they had a significant hand in this that's good. That's important. Yeah, the "You Did Well" also really hit me. It's right at the end of the song. It's this final cap on the message of the song, specifically sending these flying voices out there. And it's kind of like when you teach something, like I've been a teacher for years, the last thing you say is kind of like, hey, if you remember anything I say, it's this right here. And you kind of cap off the lesson with that. To cap off this song, this message with that right there, it's kind of like saying, hey, if you didn't hear anything I said, hear this. You did well. And I'll go back to something we watched recently and I think it was Epic High featuring somebody from Nell. I can't remember the name. And what was it? Did I do good? I did good? Something like that. But that was also really, really powerful. And it kind of, it tugs on the strings as a human. Oh, I was happy. That's right. But in the chorus, they did have that message. It was that question that's put out into the void that makes you go like, damn, I can relate to that pretty hard. Did I do good? Hey, you did well. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people throughout my life where if you kind of dig into the conversation or the stories, whatever, it's like a pretty significant thing that we experience is we want somebody to not just accept us sometimes, but also it's a different world when somebody says, hey, I'm really proud of you. Whew. Kind of makes quite an impact. The thirst that we feel sometimes for knowing that we did good. It's like I want to do good. I want to be a good person. I want to do good things. I want to make the people around me proud of me. That to me is probably the most powerful part of this whole piece. The video is great. The lyrics are powerful, but that last line, hidden in that last verse, and I may say hidden. The reason I say hidden is because in that last verse, we have some woes, but in that it's, you did well. That final cap on the song, I think, is to me the most powerful piece of all this.